Welcome back to the Dr. Sia channel, everybody. We're about to watch session 3 between myself and Chantel, who is experiencing complicated grief. Now, in her previous 2 sessions, and if you haven't checked them out yet, make sure you do, she was experiencing complicated grief and intellectualizing as a defense mechanism and rationalizing as a defense mechanism. Now, at the end of session 2, though, she started experiencing some sadness, which is good because that is a healthy sign. But she started minimizing that a bit, saying, I have a bit of sadness, a little bit. Now, that's not very healthy for you. We want Chantel to be able to experience the fullness of her sadness and the grief so that she can repair and heal and have a really healthy process going on for her as she's lost her dear sister. So make sure that you stay tuned after this session because I'll be breaking it down, telling you what I saw, why I did what I did, and where to go from there. Stay tuned and I'll see you soon. Chantel, where would you like to start today?
So I went home and I thought about what you were saying about I already knew from the last session about the intellectualizing. I also thought a bit more about the rationalizing, and I realized that I do tend to make up reasons for things possibly a bit too much. So I can see what you're saying.
Yeah.
With that.
Yeah. And we've been talking about you grieving your sister.
Yes.
And have you been noticing anything around that at all?
I mean, that's been on my mind a lot. Obviously, she was my sister. I cared about her and everything. So I mean, maybe I'm a little bit down about it. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I noticed that here, as you say that you really loved your sister, that you say that you feel a bit down about that.
Yeah.
And there's some part of you there that says you feel a little bit down about that, a bit down about that.
Yeah, like a little bit. Like I'm a bit sad, I guess you could say. Yeah, okay. Something like that. Yeah.
Do you notice that? Obviously, you love your sister very much, and you must have some really strong feelings about having lost her. She's your sister. You love her.
Yeah.
But when we look at that sadness, some part of you keeps saying a bit, a little bit. Do you notice that?
Yeah.
You're a bit down. You're a bit sad. Okay. Almost like minimizing it, making the sadness, the intensity of the sadness, smaller.
Okay. Yeah.
What do you think that does for you?
I mean, like it's obviously there, but I don't know. I kind of notice it. Like I'm kind of I guess kind of blue. Yeah. It's something's there. I don't know. It sort of seems like the best way to describe it. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, that there's something there, and it's a little bit down. It's a little bit sad and a little bit blue. Yeah, right. And, and you notice that there's something there that just keeps saying a bit, a little bit, and a little bit. Sort of suggests that you have a little bit of sadness.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, as long as this part of you keeps calling it a little bit of sadness, I wonder if that'll run the risk of you always going back to intellectualizing and back to rationalizing, rather than being able to accept the feelings that you have inside and to process this loss that you've experienced. Okay. What do you think about that?
I mean, it does sort of like I understand what you're saying. Like there's definitely something there. To what extent I'm not sure. It just feels like sort of like part of something, like an amount of something. I don't know. Like it's sort of it is a bit heavy, I guess. Sort of heavy, weighing down on me a little bit, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that you say that you guess that it's a little bit heavy and you don't really know the amount of it. Yeah. almost as to suggest that you're not really looking because you're guessing what's going on inside you. Because if you're feeling it, it's your body, and if you're feeling it, you know how much you're feeling. But some part of you keeps guessing about it instead of feeling it, and then guessing that it must be a bit there, a bit of something there. I wonder what would happen if you weren't guessing about it, and if you weren't sort of if this part of you wasn't making it small, and if you were just feeling what it is. I wonder how that would feel then.
Um, I mean, it's yeah, it's I guess it's not just a little bit. It's probably quite something big to deal with. I mean, it's yeah. Um,
And if you really allow yourself to get in there and feel what you're actually feeling, whatever that is, but if you really allow yourself to get in there and feel what you're actually feeling about having lost your sister, because you obviously loved her very much. What do you notice?
I did. I really loved my sister a lot. Yeah.
I can see that sadness coming up there for you. And that's a good thing, that sadness. That's a healing thing. He wants to come and heal you, to help you, because you obviously loved your sister very much.
Yeah.
And it would be natural for you to be sad about having lost her.
Okay. Yeah.
How do you notice that sadness inside just then?
There's there's actually quite a lot of it there. There's more than I thought. Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe it sounds like you have some grieving to do between maybe now and our next session, and then we can see how you go. Okay. All right, so that was session 3 with Chantal. Now, did you notice the minimizing that was going on for Chantal in this session? So she came in and she was experiencing grief for her sister. But what would happen is that every time that I would ask her how she felt about losing her sister, some part of her kept minimizing the intensity of her feelings. She'd say, I feel a bit sad, or I feel a bit heavy. And that's exactly what minimizing is. It takes something that's really intensive and makes it smaller and less heavy. And you might wonder, well, why is that a bad thing? Well, it's not a good thing to minimize, because when you have naturally an intense and really big emotional experience, it's not healthy to just push that all aside and make it small, because it is left unprocessed. Now, if you're curious and want to learn more about emotional self-care, make sure you tune back into the Dr. Sia channel, because I'm going to make a video on emotional self-care as well. Now, what happened with Chantal was that towards the end of the session, as she allowed herself to see, to fully feel the intensity of her sadness, you could clearly see how it all just washed over her. She changed body position, she just slouched over, and she just realized, I love my sister, and I'm really sad about losing her. That was a very intense moment and a very important moment for her. At that moment, Chantal realized she's now ready to grieve her sister. So we asked her to go ahead and just do what naturally comes to her anyway, which is to grieve, and then we'll check back in on her sometime later. So I'm really curious to hear what you have to say about this session. I obviously say and do what I do because of the training that I have, but I'm curious about your thoughts and your ideas too. So make sure you subscribe, like, leave a comment, and I'll see you for the next session, which would be the last session between myself and Chantal. I'll see you soon.